Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm glad you could join me tonight. I have something I wanted to talk to you about. Tonight's topic really is going to be about crafting and designing your life. Now, that could sound almost like a cheesy motivational speech type of topic, but I want to kind of focus on some of the realities that I picked up from other people throughout my life and just my own experiences on how it's absolutely important. You have to create the life that you want to a certain degree. Now, those of you that know me know that I am a Christian. I believe in God shaping and designing your life, and He has to be the one that sends certain things that are going to make you grow. At the same time, we have our own intellect, we have our own ability to grow and discipline and willingly choose to do that to ourselves. And that is something that I believe that we're absolutely supposed to do. It was a few years ago that I was listening to somebody who was expanding on this subject and talking about it quite a bit. Um, he did a lot of motivational speeches and everything back in the day. He's passed away now. His name was Jim Rohn, Rohn, and he used to talk about how if you want to have a good weekend, that's not something that happens on accident. You're going to have to plan things that you're going to go do, things that you're going to do with your wife, maybe things you're going to do with your children, things that you're going to do as far as activities, things that are going to, make you grow and help you cope with life in ways that are healthy. Some of my other videos you've heard me talk about, there's ways to cope negatively and ways to cope positively, but everything we do in life is a form of coping with the fact that we're living in this life that is so difficult at many times. So crafting and designing your life is a very, very important thing that you have to kind of keep in mind with everything. So like I was saying with the example being your weekend, if you want a weekend to go a certain way, if you want it to happen a certain way, if you want it to have the best chance of being a good weekend where you're recovering from maybe your work week, or you're feeling energized and recharged, and you're having a good time with family, friends, and kids. These are things that you design. You're going to have to decide, hey, why don't we put together a barbecue? Hey, why don't we put together something where we're going to go out to a movie, go to a, a date weekend where we get away, go to a town and explore it, or, do something that's going to cause you to expand and grow on multiple different levels. I mean, I do a lot of filmmaking work where we've done uh, oh gosh, everything from acting to dramatic stuff to stuff that's sci-fi and all sorts of interesting things like that. And I can't begin to tell you the level of growth and just amazing things that have happened in my life by doing that. But that's a planned thing. You don't just drift into that one weekend. You have to decide you're going to make your life that way by planning that and arranging that way. And the same thing goes for the current relationship that I'm in right now. We'll pick all sorts of different things to do. We've done everything from spending a weekend installing new light fixtures, having a nice dinner together, and maybe watching a movie, to going traveling somewhere, exploring somewhere. Who knows where we're going to end up and what we're going to do, but we try to plan things that will kind of encourage, sort of not just the adventure, but the spending time together and building on the romance, building on the, you know, not just the romance, but the attraction. That sort of thing doesn't happen accidentally either. You have to plan for that to happen. You have to design to some degree for that to happen. I've often heard it said, and I know that it's very true personally, that if you start to date somebody, get into a serious relationship with them, especially marry them, you have to never stop dating them. And the reason why is that relationship is never going to thrive, and it's never going to grow, and it's never going to function if you starve it to death. Well, the same thing applies to your life. You have to design and create certain aspects of it. So learn how to do a side hustle or a business on the side. Like we've done flipping some furniture here and there. We've been learning how to paint. I've been building a YouTube channel. I actually have another one that has over 8 million views, where we've done all sorts of films and other work. And this is a completely different channel with a completely different premise to it. But it's absolutely important that you do that. And part of that is just developing yourself. Because if you don't develop yourself, you'll drift away into becoming somebody who just lets everybody else make the decisions in your life for you. You're waiting for them to treat you well at work instead of planning other things on the side that could then come to the forefront when, let's just say, God forbid, your job doesn't work out, or other things that you can do to craft and create and design your life. And it's a very hard thing to break out of that, because you have to break out of mentally what's going on in your head, where you think, that you kind of have to go with the flow with everything. You have to let everything just kind of happen the way that it's happening. And it's very important that you shift your mindset so that you can begin to implement this on a regular basis. And you can start small. In fact, I recommend that, because if you try and start too big, it's probably not going to take hold. It's sort of like deciding that you're going to work out, or you're going to start writing every day, or start doing some sort of a side hobby. You've got to start doing it incrementally until it builds up to a point to where it sticks, and then you're not going to walk away from it very easily. But it's a very important thing to do in a way that will allow you to maintain that over a long period of time, and then it becomes a permanent habit. But when it comes to crafting and designing your life, it's all about your personal habits with, like how you spend your weekend. Are you spending it coping by using alcohol, drugs? Are you smoking stuff? Are you trying to get high? Are you trying to, float along through life and not really do anything that's going to cope in a positive way, that's not going to destroy everything around you? And those things that I just mentioned, they don't just make you numb to the world. They damage every relationship that you've had. Everybody I ever knew that was involved with alcohol, drugs, smoking, drinking, messing with everything, their relationships just died. They got starved to death, just the way I was describing it. And unfortunately, that was the way that they designed their life. They chose that. Now, I'm not saying addiction isn't a thing. Obviously, addiction is a thing. But escaping addiction takes a plan. That takes design to get out. So just like getting out of negative things takes design and planning and really crafting your life to do that, all the positive stuff that's going to happen takes design and planning and crafting your life. Now, it can be very easy for a lot of people out there these days, especially Christians, to almost have a defeatist attitude of, what's the point of doing anything like that? Because this is all going to end, and it's all going to be over at some point. So why do this? This is for your own personal growth. You are going to change during this journey. This isn't in the hopes that somehow you're going to amass enough toys and wealth and other things to take with you when you leave here, because none of that's ever going to happen. This is so that you personally change, and the way your life is functioning around you and your outlook on life completely changes through the process of this. It changes your relationships. It changes everything that you're doing. And I did mention in another video, sometimes it takes getting to a point where you get so sick of everything in your life the way it already is, that you feel like you've just got to do something about it. And for many people that I've met, myself included, that's what it took for me. I had to get to a point to where I was so sick of the way things were that I knew I was going to change it, and nothing was going to stop me. And I will tell you, that level of conviction will make anything go through that you need to have go through. But you have to kind of be willing to accept that the way your life already was, that's got to change. The way you thought about things has got to change. If you keep thinking about it the same way and keep approaching it the same way, you're just going to get the same results you've always gotten. So you have to get used to being somebody who is crafting and designing your own life, and realize that that all starts with you improving on yourself. So as much as you can, maybe even just once a day, if that's what you can start with, or, every weekend, pick something that you can do within your means that will allow you to improve upon yourself. And you'll begin to make a habit of self-improvement in a very good way. That's something that we could all use. I can personally attest to my life being completely different by doing that. From going to, as somebody who was in an unhappy marriage, went through all sort, the misery of going through getting ripped apart in a divorce court, trying to recover my life, trying to recover my ability to trust people after that, to somebody who now works in multiple businesses. I own my place. I I'm basically having a much better life moving forward by doing all of that. And on a spiritual and emotional level, I feel much more stable and sound, like I have a peace. And there is a peace that comes with doing all of this. And it's not because of the things, it's because it changes you. That's the type of peace that comes from that. So crafting and designing your life changes you and teaches you how to have peace and teaches you how to grow. That's what it really changes. Now, how it changes everybody else is all going to be entirely determined by how much it changes you. It will change your marriage, your long-term relationships, people that you work with, people that you know, people that you encounter and they spend time around you. They're gonna begin to understand that that has changed. And I'm going to tell you right now, there is no better witness or accounting to people that something has changed. When they see it, there's no denying it. When they see it, there's no denying it. In fact, a lot of the time it makes people go, what is it that you're doing that's making all this happen? Because we can see the difference in your life, see the difference in you and what's happening. And we're kind of interested in that because I don't really feel that way myself. And I feel depressed and I feel sad and I feel like I don't have any design of how I'm doing things, like a direction of where I'm going. And when you see a person leading that way by example, and they're not doing it for the benefit of you seeing it, they're doing it for the reason that it's changing them from the inside, there's no better way to spread something good on the face of this earth than by doing it that way. So at any rate, that's my thoughts for tonight. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And let's keep the conversation going. I'm really liking the community that I'm starting to grow here on YouTube, and look forward to chatting with all of you soon. Have a good night.